So, in my opinion, Kel'Thuzad is really a genius. At first, we thought he was just a power-hungry mage, and he was one of the many that just sought more power, and we kinda laughed at him when that entire plan failed. But massive spoiler alert, this regular mage has played us all, Arthas, Ner'zhul, the Legion, the Scourge, and is now playing around in the Shadowlands, knowing what almost no one knew until now. So, what exactly is Kel'Thuzad doing? Brought to you by Gamivo.com. Make sure to click the link in the description and get Shadowlands as well as game time at discounted prices. Long ago, Kel'Thuzad was a member of the Council of Six and one of the most powerful mages of the Kirin Tor, and in a way, one of the leaders. However, over time, Kel'Thuzad's ambition grew from curiosity to insanity in quite a short period of time. During the Orcish Wars, he first observed the initial Death Knights of Gul'dan, and this absolutely fascinated him, sparking his newfound interest in necromancy. While all the mages were a curious bunch, it kinda came with the job. He kept insisting on studying this forbidden form of magic. One day, Antonidas found him experimenting with the reanimation of dead rats, and he gave him a slap on the wrist, and he confiscated all of his dark magic artifacts, searching everything he had, and even threatened exile. This, however, didn't bother Kel'Thuzad in the slightest, as he rightfully so began to realize that the mages knew nothing, and that there is so much more to life, death, and magic than what Dalaran and the Kirin Tor have been teaching. So he set out to find the Lich King, whose voice he heard in his head, and eventually gave his soul to the Dark Lord, transcending life. We don't know if it was at this point that he learned that the Lich King is really nothing, and that there is this entire realm with the Jailer, Maldraxxus, the Maw, and everything else, but as he arrived in Northrend, he was 100% shocked, scared, and pleasantly surprised that he decided to abandon his humanity at that point. Now, all of you know what happened then. He caused the plague of Lordaeron, was killed by Arthas, was resurrected with the Sunwell, then he controlled the Plague Lands, then went to Northrend, and ultimately, Kel'Thuzad was defeated. However, since that point we knew that he wasn't really dead. This was a speculation for like the past 10-15 years, as his phylactery was still around, so Kel'Thuzad was never really dead. Now, the missing link here is that something happened most likely around this time, since in the Shadowlands we realized that he's ruling a house in Maldraxxus. If you haven't followed the story, I'm just gonna simplify this and explain it in as few words as possible. Maldraxxus is the realm for the warrior souls, and it's like the military of the Shadowlands. Before, it was ruled by the Eternal One, who realized the Jailer is up to something, and now he has disappeared in order to search for the Jailer, or something happened, we just don't know at this point. Since the departure of the leader of Maldraxxus, the place has been ruled by 5 houses with their own barons. Now, at some point in time, Kel'Thuzad infiltrated this place, he reached Maldraxxus, he became a baron himself, and he caused a civil war between the houses, creating tension and chaos, and as far as we know, he ultimately serves the Jailer. Now, this is where it gets really confusing. Did Kel'Thuzad get through the Arbiter to Maldraxxus after that? As honestly, this guy was pretty bad. Sure, he thrived in wars, you can say he's a warrior soul, so he could be in Maldraxxus, but he was evil to the core and arrogant and everything bad that you can add to him. I don't really think this was the scenario with the Arbiter. Here's the thing, we learned Maldraxxus is the home to necromancy, and that is what the Lich King used up to power the Scourge and to summon all of his minions. Kel'Thuzad was literally the brains of the Lich King. He was like an officer and like the intelligence of the Scourge, and as they tapped into the realm of death, he might have had access for himself as well. So after his fall, he could have used his knowledge to access Maldraxxus and to take over the realm. Now, here is where it gets even more interesting. What is his ultimate purpose? Why is he here? As the Primus said that the Jailer can get to the Sepulchre at any cost, which could be the fountain of all warfare knowledge in Maldraxxus. We don't really know what it is at this point, but Kel'Thuzad might be working to make just that happen. That way, he could take on the knowledge, he could free the Jailer, and if he destroys all those houses in the progress, he could become the ultimate ruler of Maldraxxus and like the second in command to the Jailer. Now, this is quite the position, as he could replace Primus, and this is the Pantheon of Death, the Eternal Ones. The Eternal Ones are a new concept and are said to be on a power level of the Titans, if not higher, so Kel'Thuzad is possibly looking to become an Eternal One, which is just pure insanity in my opinion. Another theory is that since he was close to his friend Arthas, he might be trying to free him from the Maw, but honestly, I doubt it. Kel'Thuzad is literally like the biggest manipulator in the entire Warcraft lore, and he has surpassed everyone, even the likes of until then, so I doubt he's really doing all of this just for friendship. Keep in mind, of course, at the moment the expansion isn't even out yet, so we don't know everything and we only have a few crumbs here and there, so we're kind of connecting the dots and creating all these speculations. But if the first theory is true, Kel'Thuzad is literally a genius and probably one of the most cunning humans of all time, like a human dreadlord. The guy was just a regular mage. When you compare the humans to the likes of titans, they literally don't even exist on a scale. But now a human is trying to become like an ancient dead titan, which is just pure insanity. Imagine having like a human boy growing up and in a few decades of experience he learned a few things. The guy managed with his intelligence to trick everyone, even death itself, and to attempt to become one of the most powerful beings and forces in the universe, like thousands of years old beings, like transcending all planets and all forms of life. So if the theory is true and Kel'Thuzad really planned all of this, as evil as he was, you really gotta give him credit. Thank you for watching. Check out who is the jailer and why he is imprisoned by clicking on the screen, and check out Dorons's Academy for videos on real world history and science. See you next time.